Concerns continue over possible trade retaliations from China against U.S. ag exports. Pressure has been mounting since the beginning of the month when President Trump announced tariffs against China over intellectual property theft. Joining us now from the American Farm Bureau Washington headquarters is AFBF President Zippy Duvall. Thank you so much for joining us, President Duvall. Let's start with
I'm proud to be with you.
Oh, we're so happy to have you here. We know you're a busy man, and we appreciate you taking the time to spend with us today. What is at risk here with our trade relationship with China as it continues to deteriorate?
Well, you know, we're looking at farm economy being down and about 50% in our net income, and it's just a really bad time for us to talk about what might affect us, and we're scared that there might be retaliation toward agricultural products, and there has been a threat by China if these tariffs are put on. So there's a lot at risk.
Absolutely. We do a lot of trade with China, as you know. What do you think will become the biggest ag target if China does continue to retaliate?
Well, of course, we send about $20 billion worth of ag commodities to China, and out of that $20 billion, over $12 billion of it is soybeans. So we're very concerned about our soybean movement of soybeans that have been interrupted. But then you also got about $1 million worth of cotton, $1 million worth of skin and hides, and it comes on down from there. And pork is about $660 million of exports to China.
Absolutely. I mean, soybeans being number one, and then you talk about pork. Do you think this is something that we should be a little concerned about right now?
Of course, because Friday the Chinese said that they were going to target pork and put a 25% tariff on it, along with I think it was a 10 or 15% tariff on fruits, fresh fruits, nuts, and wine. So we're concerned about it, but we were relieved that they didn't target soybeans right off the bat.
What would you like to see moving forward? What do you hope that the Trump administration will come forward and do to help U.S. farmers?
Well, we know that the Trump administration is continuing to talk to them and to try to find agreements similar to what they just announced with Chorus. You know, they've went and negotiated the deals with Chorus and finalized those, and we haven't seen the finished product yet, but we're told that there's been some positive things for agriculture in Chorus. So hopefully they're doing that same thing with China, and I know they are. They're working to make sure that they can work out the differences between the countries so that we don't have to have a trade war.
Are there any other avenues alongside Chorus that we can do, that we can take to really rectify this situation going forward, say bilateral trade with China?
Sure, and you know, I think the president is focused on doing bilateral trade, and that would be a good deal, so we work out those differences and not have a trade war. That would be good for everyone. You know, we understand that the president's trying to make a better deal for everyone, and we're very appreciative of the things that he's done for us through tax reform and regulatory reform. But we continue to tell him about how important it is to be very careful how he goes forward with these threats of tariffs, because we know that agriculture, looking at history, we know that agriculture is always the one that hits hardest, and we want to make sure that we neutralize that or minimize that as much as possible.
Well, I'm sure on behalf of all the farmers out there listening to those words you just spoke, we're all really happy to have you on our side. Thank you so much for joining us. AFBF President Zippy Duvall, appreciate your time today.